Okay, I'd like to call to order the Bedford Township Planning Commission meeting dated February 23, 2022. It is 7 o'clock p.m. Let's stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, item 3, let's do a roll call. Mr. Covert, you're the secretary, correct?
I am. It's my first
That's right.
first time doing it. So
Refresh my own
I'm gonna
memory.
mess up. I'm
First
sure.
rodeo. Can't mess up.
So is this, do I do the roll call? Ah, okay. Any particular order? Mr. Fritz?
Present.
Mr. Lamkowski is absent. Mr. Mahoney?
Here?
Mr. Helm?
Here.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
And I am here.
Okay. Item 4, approval of the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at it?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
and Mr. Garbrick is excused.
Okay, thank you. Any changes, omissions, deletions, anything to add?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted. Second.
Okay, motion is seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Now, item 5, approval of the minutes of January 26, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of January 26, 2022 as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion is seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, item 6, public comment. Is there anybody from the public who would like to make a comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Item A, request for final site plan approval for Coleman Real Estate Holdings, LLC, Lambertville Veterinary Clinic, for a veterinary clinic on vacant land, parcel number 5802-032-055-64, located on the south side of Stearns Road, east of Secor Road, Lambertville, Michigan, 48144. Ms. Rector, do you want to add anything?
Yes. Again, the applicant is Coleman Real Estate, 3277 Stearns Road. Dr. Gabe Coleman, 3199 Stearns Road, and that parcel is actually right now currently using the previous address. Engineer is the JDI Group, architect is Linden Group, parcel is zone C3 General Business District, 1.614 acres. The subject parcel is a vacant C3 zone 1.614 acre parcel located east of Secor Road on the south side of Stearns Road. The developer is proposing a 1.5-story structure oriented to face Stearns Road with a building footprint of 5,805 square feet, 5,218 square feet on the first floor, and 587 square feet on the second floor. Ingress egress will be on the north side of the parcel off of Stearns. The subject parcel and the parcel to the west are both Zone C3 General Business District. Parcel to the north is C2 Shopping Center District. The parcel to the east is Zone RME Elderly Housing, and the parcel to the south is Zone C3. All surrounding parcels are being utilized in accordance with the zoning, with the exception of the property located to the west of the site, which is vacant at the time. The master plan designates the area as mixed use. The overall building is 23 feet and 9 inches in height, where 40 feet is permitted by ordinance. The front setback along Stearns Road is approximately 105.81 feet from the road right-of-way, where 52 feet is required by ordinance. The rear yard setback is approximately 142.69 feet, where a 20-foot setback is required, and the side yard setback to the east is approximately 44.36 feet, where 20 feet is required by ordinance, and on the side setback to the west, it's approximately 60, where 10 feet is required. Parking is provided on the north and the west side of the structure, where parking is permitted within the front yard, subject to 50% of the required front yard remaining as green space. 53% of the front yard is shown as landscaping. Parking spaces are calculated by Section 41904 off-street parking requirements. For the proposed use, 29 spaces, where 39 spaces are provided, 37 standard and 2 barrier-free spaces. Detention basin is shared basin located on parcel 5802-032-05565, where the Old Farm Estates is actually located, approved by the Planning Commission on October 9th of 2019. The amended cost sharing and easement agreements have been received by the Planning Department. The dumpster is located to the south of the structure at the southwest corner of the structure. Per 400-1907-7B, the dumpster will be screened on the north, south, and east sides with a 6-foot vinyl fencing and a 6-foot vinyl gate on the west side as required by ordinance. A loading and unloading area is proposed along the west side of the structure. For section 400-1906B states 1 10-foot by 70-foot loading and unloading area is required by ordinance for a structure between 5,001 and 20,000 square feet, which is notated on sheet A-0.1. However, dimensions are not shown on the plan. This should be verified by the applicant. And you will see those questions that we had as the planning department are highlighted. A 240 square foot outdoor relief yard is proposed on the south side of the structure with a perfect turf and will be enclosed with a 6-foot PVC fencing on the south, east, and west sides. 8 evergreens are provided along the east side of the parcel where a 6-foot obscuring wall is required to screen a non-residential use in a commercial district from adjacent land used for residential use. Per section 400-1911 obscuring walls, the Planning Commission may approve the use of other existing and or proposed natural or man-made features of adequate size that would produce substantially the same results in terms of screening, durability, and permanence. The applicant is requesting the proposed landscaping to serve for the required obscuring wall. Please note the Planning Department has spoken with the applicant and advised, should the Commission determine the proposed landscape to serve, any future addition on the east side of the structure could require additional landscaping. 3 ornamental trees and 9 shrubs are provided along the frontage of Stearns Road, where a minimum of 1 ornamental tree for every 50 linear feet, plus 1 shrub for every 20 of frontage is required by ordinance. Perennial bulbs are proposed along the walkways and buildings on the north side of the structure, and the remainder of the unpaved area will consist of a grassy area. There is 1 double-headed feature, 20 feet in height within the north parking area, and 2 single-headed features, each 20 feet in height on the east side of the southwest portion of the parking lot. Per section 400-1908, 20 feet in height is permitted and all lighting must be directed downward to avoid off-site glare. 3 building-mounted fixtures are proposed on the north elevation located above the proposed wall sign. A total of 5 building-mounted fixtures are proposed adjacent to the entryways, with 2 located on the north side, 2 on the west, and 1 located on the south. The provided illumination plan meets the requirements of the ordinance where a commercial zoning district abuts and adjacent to a residential district. The elevation plan shows an overall building height of the 28 and 9 inches with building materials consisting on all sides of fiber cement siding in Booth Bay blue, natural tone veneer, and Georgetown gray, asphalt shingle roofing. A wall sign is proposed on the north side of the structure measuring 35.25 feet. A monument sign is proposed on the northwest corner of the parcel with 28 square feet in signage, 20 square feet of base, and an overall height of 6 feet. Per section 400-1922, sign states in a C3 general zoning district, 1 accessory wall sign not to exceed 50 square feet in area and 1 freestanding accessory sign not to exceed 50 square feet in area plus 50 square feet of base and a 7 feet overall in height. While the proposed sign and location are provided on the site plan for consideration, the final sign designs will need to be submitted to the Planning Department to ensure the signs comply with the requirements of the ordinance before submitting for a building permit. Sanitary sewer and municipal water are available to the site. A 3-foot wide sidewalk will be installed along the frontage of Stearns Road. And letters of approval have been received from the Manick and Smith Group with comments and conditions on 2/8/2022, the Bedford Township Fire Department with comments and conditions on 11/18/2021, the Monroe County Road Commission with comments and conditions on 12/2/2021, provided an updated email on 2/15/2022 to move forward with a site plan from the Planning Commission with comments and conditions, the Monroe County Drain Commission with comments and conditions on 11/15/2021, and they also provided an updated email on 2/14/2022. Monroe County Drain Commission in regards to soil erosion and sedimentation control dated 11/16/2021, and provided an updated email to move forward with the project on 2/16/2022. In summary, any site plan approval should be conditioned upon addressing all comments and conditions in the Monroe County Drain Commission, Monroe County Road Commission, Bedford Township Fire Department, and the Madigan Smith Group. Confirm the dimensions of the loading and unloading area to ensure the requirements of Section 400.1906. Determination of the 8 evergreens along the east side of the parcel to act as the screening wall to screen a non-residential use in a commercial district from adjacent land used for residential uses. Submitting the sign designs to the Planning Department for further review on compliance by the sign ordinance. And some of the comments that were in the letters from February addressed, the applicant has brought in new plans tonight, and I believe those also have been dispersed to the reviewing agencies to address those comments so he can move forward with construction should site plan approval be granted.
So just to be clear, this is a preliminary site plan?
No, it's final site plan approval.
Okay.
This is only comes to you tonight for final.
Okay. Do you want to step up the microphone and add anything? State your name and your address.
Clinic address or personal address?
Pardon me?
Clinic or personal address?
You can give your clinic.
Okay. Dr. Gabe Coleman, 3277 Stearns Road, Lambertville, Michigan.
Jody, is that mic on? Or does it need to be raised?
It's on.
Say it again.
Go ahead.
Good.
We're good. Then.
Okay.
Make sure you could talk into it.
We have Lambertville Vet Clinic. My wife and I are both the doctors there. We bought it about 6 years ago, and business is good, and we're just outgrowing the current space that we're in. We looked at renovating the current facility versus building fresh, and just with parking and where we want to go with our business, renovating just didn't make sense. And we were lucky enough to purchase some land so close that it just made sense to build, from the ground up rather than try to redo what we already have. Questions?
Does anybody have any questions? I'm getting that before you vote.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
not so much a question, but just a couple comments. First off, congratulations on keeping your business here in Bedford. Like you said, you could have renovated, you could have built, but you could have built elsewhere. You could have left Bedford too. And I'm glad to see that you're staying here in Bedford and growing, and I'm glad to hear that business is good as well. I know that we have an animal ourselves, so we're always going somewhere to vets or whatever. These things have to be done.
Yep.
And they're more expensive than kids, I think. So.
I think they might be.
I guess most of the things that I see were addressed by the reviewing agencies. I know Ms. Rector, as her comments there tonight, said you've already, taken the lead on some of those requirements. You already have some of that corrected. Of course, the reviewing agencies, they'll know what still might need to be corrected. But as long as everything is met per all of those requirements and the agencies all come back with their final approvals, that sounds real good to me. The only real point that's in here, I think, that needs, in my opinion, is major discussion, and to me it's minor, is the 8 evergreens, because that's the only thing really not in compliance. So this commission, we could say, stick with the 8 trees or whatever we feel necessary. But other than that, I think the rest of everything that you've done, you've done a great job. I wish everybody took the lead when it came to moving forward, when they know what they're supposed to do, that they do it. So thanks there. It makes our job easier too. So I'll just go to my other fellow board members and.
Mr. Covrat?
Yeah, I echo Rick's statements. Very solid package, very comprehensive. Building looks great. So congratulations on and thank you for staying in the community. Same minor comment that I had as well as Rick is the 8 evergreens. Is there any rationale as to why the evergreens versus the 6-foot wall?
Right. Personally, I think evergreens look better than a wall. Kind of, I think, ties you in a little bit more to the community than a fence between you and your neighbors. We have some just talk about, the retirement center next door, potentially doing some house calls, if you will. And, a fence would kind of impede that, I suppose you could put a gate or whatever in it too, but it just feels a little more homey to me to not have a fence.
Absolutely. Any berming associated with that? Like, would the trees be on top of a berm at all, or just right at the ground surface? I didn't see that in there, so.
I don't believe there's an intent of a berm, just the additional trees. And that's why it's notated that, if you can see, he does have an area that is highlighted in green that could be a future addition. And to take that into consideration, right now, the structure is going to be approximately 44.5 feet from the property line, but when the future addition comes back, it will be only the 20 feet from the property line. So it is supposed to run the length of the property, but the ordinance does provide him the opportunity to ask for a variation from the requirement.
I guess the last question I would have there is there any size? I didn't see a height. I saw the mature height of these once they hit, 40 feet or whatever down the road. Any thoughts on the size? And again, where I'm heading is, okay, are these going to be 2 foot tall and it's going to take 10 years to get any sort of, obscuring factor there, or is it going to kind of happen on day one?
I mean, I guess my mind, I'd be thinking like kind of 6 foot ish trees. Probably not going to get the 40-foot one delivered, but
right. Yep. That would be a chore.
Yeah, somewhere in the 6 to 10 feet ballpark.
Thank you. Is that something that if we wanted to, could we specify a height on those trees?
Mm-hmm.
Marty's shaking his head.
Marty is shaking his head yes.
I mean, I don't want to plant like saplings,
And I would just mention that as part of your site plan approval, if you're in agreement to vary the requirements from the fence, you could set conditions as to what the alternative could be. The height of trees, the spacing of trees, a berm, the alternatives.
Do you have an idea of what you might want to put into the motion?
I'm thinking about other situations over the years of the township where, we see it. Now I'm going way back to my first time on the planning commission, and we, you approve something like this, and a small tree that's 2 feet tall gets placed, and it takes 15 years to really accomplish what the intent of the ordinance is, which is unfortunate. So, I'd like to see something. The 6 feet that the applicant suggested, I think that would kind of be a minimum to me.
To plant new at 6 feet?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that's just me for the commission's consideration. But yeah.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, and I think trees would look a lot better than a white vinyl fence, for sure. And I just had a concern, would the neighbors have to approve it, or just we would approve it? Okay. I think they'd like to see.
Before the commission to make that determination.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody? Mr. Steiner?
So if I'm looking back correctly, so the trees were planned about 20 feet apart, according to this? Is that the way I read it? It says 9 shrubs provided along the front of stems where a minimum of 1. That's not the 8. Where'd I go here?
It's like 7 across and 2 closer to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Are you talking at the road frontage or adjacent to the
I'm talking about
Hampton
the
Manor?
evergreens on the east side there.
There's 8 proposed landscape screenings of new evergreens on the east side next to the Hampton Manor, which is the
For the text.
RME, the residential. On the west side, he is not required because it abuts commercial.
Right.
And then you have on the north side, the proposed sign is on the west side of the entrance. And then in the front, he has 9 1 per 20 feet of the shrubs, and 3, 1 per 50 feet of the ornamental trees.
Okay, so I was looking at the wrong spots. There's no spacing actually between those, and again, I don't know how big they're going to grow diameter-wise. Doesn't make sense to put them too close together, but then it doesn't make sense to have them so far apart that it's wide open.
Understandable. And in speaking with the architect at the, when we discussed regarding that side and extending them, she had expressed some concern installing the trees all the way down, and that's why they're only the proposed 8 on that side now, because when they come back to expand to do a future, to avoid damaging any trees,
Having to tear them out.
Yeah, to have to tear them out. So that is why they were required to ask for the evergreens as a modification and the location to be approved by the Planning Commission. But that was her thought process when we spoke to her, advising her of the request.
I mean, the biggest thing, you're screening for, really from headlights in the parking lot and that, you know, out there from the vehicles and the vehicle traffic. I mean, I think Mr. Covette's right, you know, around that 6, 8, 10 feet, whatever. I don't think we have to give you an exact between. If we say it has to be at least 6 feet or whatever, sure, then we're good to go. And again, I think that your plan is very clear. I think the property is going to look nice the way you've got it set up. So again,
Board bat and cement board's going to look sharp with the cultured stone. You got a good design there.
Thanks.
What are your hours of business? How late do you stay open?
Depending on the day of the week, 5 or 6. Tuesday, Thursday, we're open 8 to 6. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 5.
So headlights pulling in and out probably won't be a big issue.
Probably not.
only during the winter months. So.
The back lot, that's going to be grass.
Yeah.
Like you take dogs out for a test run, see if you fix them up all right.
Right. Yeah. And the relief yard is just for us to go catch a urine sample or something. It's not, we're not doing any like boarding or any of that kind of stuff.
One other note I had, and it's, I guess not a huge deal, but I'm just curious. All the contractors are from the state of Illinois. I just wonder, why aren't they local, or have you talked to JDI about that?
So we hired a veterinary specific architect to design the building, and then we haven't secured a actual general contractor yet. We're in the process of trying to get bids from, there's a local company that we're looking at, and then it's also a design build firm that they're giving us a bid as well. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to the subcontractors, some of them are local, and then if we choose the Chicago build part of it, some things are coming in from Chicago, but we're still up in the air on exactly who we're going to we're going to choose.
Hope somebody's got some old lumber in storage they can get you at a good price compared to today's price.
Yeah, no kidding.
It cost you a couple grand just to get a truck to bring your lumber from
Yeah.
Chicago, too.
Yeah.
I like the concept of the trees. You know, like you say, it just looks natural, and especially that would be a nice buffer up against that next to you on the east side.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Comments?
Just one quick one.
Yep.
I know this really isn't a Ms. Rector question, but it's one that would really be an ordinance-driven once this goes into effect. And I know most people, they've got a nice property, they want to keep their property up. But what happens when trees go up and all of a sudden the tree dies? Oh, the heck with it, I'm not going to put a new one in. It's not like we have somebody running around from ordinance saying, oh, that guy's got a tree, I got to make him put a new one in. So other than that, that would be the only reason I'd ever want a fence. But I mean, in this case, I would hope that the screening works with the trees. And again, he's a successful businessman and businesswoman owning this business, and they're local, want to be local, so I don't see that ever happening here. But someday they're going to retire someday, and the next person might say, I'm not going to worry about it. But again, that's an ordinance issue.
Great. Anybody else? Mr. Camperth.
It probably would be appropriate to advise the applicant that the planning commission is 2 members short tonight, and we need a majority of the full body, which would be 4, a vote 4 in the affirmative to pass your site plan approval tonight. So you have the opportunity to elect to defer to another night when there's more planning commission members here. It increases your chances of getting a vote of 4.
I'll take my chances tonight.
All right. Thank you.
Looks like a nice group of guys tonight. So,
Does somebody want to make a motion?
Well, I'll make a run for it unless anybody else wants to take it. So my motion is to approve the proposed site plan approval for parcel number 5802-032-055-64 for property located at 3199 Stearns Road, Lambertville, Michigan, 48144. The approval is subject to the conditions of 1, all the comments and conditions of the Mannix-Smith Group, the Bedford Township Fire Department, Monroe County Road Commission, Monroe County Drain Commission are all satisfied for their final approval. The one thing that I do know, and you probably have already addressed it with your new plans, but is to confirm the dimensions of the loading and unloading area to ensure that you're meeting the requirements of section 400.1906 in the ordinance. The sign for your proposal on your signs, they'd have to submit the final sign designs to the planning department for review and make sure they're in compliance. And then the other one would be the evergreen trees that are to be planted along the east side of the parcel to be a minimum of 6 feet upon planting to obscure any lights and noise pollution over into the adjacent property on the east side. And that should be it.
Is there a second for the motion?
I'll
Okay, Mr. Fritz seconds. Mr. Coverett, can you call the roll?
I do have one clarification or
Sure.
question, maybe for Jody. So it's generic in that 8 evergreen trees, but the landscape plan shows a specific tree that's going to go in there. I mean, do we need to clarify that, or it has to be that tree that's listed? The common name red cedar, eastern red cedar.
They list the evergreen trees, common name red cedar, eastern red cedar, botanical name junipers virginiana, and mature height at 40 to 60. So if you want something different,
I just
Then
want to
that-
make sure that's the tree that, by approving it the way we are, that's the tree.
then you can always add as shown on the site plan.
Yes, I would agree with that, as shown on the site plan. And, Mr. Covert brings up a really good point there. And do we add a little bit more to that to say, if for some reason that tree is no longer available to him, it has to be a similar tree with the same growing specifications as what is proposed? Because I know that happens sometimes,
Sure.
where something's just not available.
We're adding that as a friendly amendment to your motion?
So that's friendly from him, and I guess mine would be friendly back for clarification.
And
Ms.
Mr.
Rector.
Fritz needs to accept them.
Because you seconded the motion. You need to accept that?
Yes.
Okay, any other comments?
Nope.
Okay, Mr. Coverett, call the roll.
Mr. Steiner,
Aye.
Mr. Fritz,
Yes.
Mr. Helm,
Aye.
Covert Fritz, aye, votes aye. Mr. Mahoney,
Aye. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on to item 8, public comment. There's nobody in the public who could comment. Item 9, information. Ms. Rector, any information to pass along?
I have nothing at this time.
Okay. Item 10, commission staff comment. I'll start down here. Mr. Steiner?
The only thing I'm going to say is I think we should keep an oxygen bottle down near Ms. Rector for those long openings. Other than that, nothing tonight.
Okay, Mr. Helm?
Nothing, thank you.
I have nothing right now. Mr. Fritz? Any comment?
No.
Okay, Mr. Coverett?
Nothing for me.
Katrina?
I have nothing.
Mr. Campereth? And Ms. Rector?
Have a good evening.
Yeah, same to you. Okay, motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Have a good night.